Three sisters,
each with one brain cell.
And way too many opinions.
Join us and grab a cup of tea.
Or coffee, because here the tangents are strong.
And the topics are a little questionable.
Welcome to
the three brain cells. That's perfect. Hi. Welcome back. Episode 38 of 1, 2, 3 brain cells.
That was beautiful.
Thanks.
Gorgeous.
Thanks, darlings. So I guess, since I'm introing, we can divulge something we've been wanting to talk about for a while. And yes, I myself have prevented that from happening. Is the new season of Ginny and Georgia, season 3. For anyone who's like, what new season? Season 3. Okay, so here is your big exclamated spoilers, what have you, everything. Season 3 is getting divulged on this episode. If you have not seen it or have not finished it and you don't want to hear anything about it, loop back.
Go watch it and then come listen to it.
Yes.
On a similar note, if you have not seen Ginny and Georgia and or do not care to ever watch it, there are many issues talked about in Ginny and Georgia.
Yes.
So it still is very relevant even if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Lots of stuff that hits home. That makes you want to grab a box of tissues.
Makes Jazrin want to buy a box.
Hey, it had me too.
It had me so good.
So that means the only person it didn't have here is you.
Wait, but with what? I guess I need a...
Okay. We could start with so many different things. It had me with anxiety around the whole trial. It had me with anxiety around just like Ginny's whole situation that just kept fluctuating because it was the trial and then it was the pregnancy. It was getting pulled out of her home and like all these different things and everything's going bing, 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 bing.
What made you want to cry though?
What made me want to cry was just like, obviously Ginny having to go through that. An abortion without her mom, like that killed me, because that's like the one person she wanted there. And then
see, I don't think they've made that scene sad enough to make me want to cry. She handled it fairly well. I mean,
I teared up. I didn't cry about that. Another part that I like was happy crying about, that I'm like, oh my god, he's adorable, until his whole little that's wild thing was when Wolf go, like when they go to the party, like her and Bracia go to the party at Wolves and he grabs Ginny to dance and then pulls Bracia along with. I'm like, that is so sweet. That is so cute.
Okay, I wasn't gonna cry over that. But
it was just like, oh my gosh. I'm like,
can we talk about him for a moment?
Yeah, can we talk about that whole storyline? I was kind of frustrated, not gonna lie.
I was low-key pissed off.
Yeah.
Yes. I thought it was going great. I thought he was a nice change up from Marcus. Yeah. He was a good addition into Ginny's life. This happy, like, breath of fresh air, right?
She needed that.
Normal circles. It's something like new for her, and she did. She needed that. He was spontaneous. He was fun. Now they had her messed up when they gave her that pregnancy scare. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
It wasn't a pregnancy scare. She was pregnant.
Yeah, she was pregnant. Sorry. Yeah, they definitely had her messed up with that. I mean, like,
I that's what I'm
introduced him to, the whole. You want to get boba after class?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, obviously.
Yeah, I do.
Why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
But she's just like, boba?
I know. I'm like, ugh.
Yes, ma'am. Boba.
Stop.
But I was just like, I feel like the only reason they did that was to show that what's-his-face Marcus was going to be by
her
Ginny's
side. Yeah. Well,
side.
and I knew that had to happen because I knew he had to be there for her, and then
But
eventually,
there's
like,
so many other
I
ways
still
they
love
could
you.
have showed that. That was not in my I didn't like that they ended that relationship that way because it
Me
was just
neither.
like seriously. I mean, the guy literally showed
'Cause
that he was such a nice and kind guy, being by her side, and not
Well,
questioning
okay,
anything that she was going through, even after finding out who her mom was and all of that. And then all
right.
of a sudden it's I'm pregnant. It's like,
I
oh,
know.
gotta go.
That was the
yeah,
Like,
other thing. When he stood up for her at the party,
yeah.
back off. I'm like,
Yeah, I was like,
literally.
a guy like that is not
yeah.
gonna get scared away by a pregnancy.
No.
No. And here's my thing. Is like she had time to like process the whole situation, right? Before
Yeah.
talking about it with anybody.
Mhm.
And and while I understand that's wild, is like not a great first line, giving him time to process is definitely the best
Yes.
Yeah,
situation. And I feel like
absolutely.
we need to make that a normality
Yeah,
in real life.
yeah.
Okay, if you are a woman who finds out she's pregnant, you're taking the time to process like
Mhm,
what's happening.
mhm,
So if you're going to tell the potential father of
mhm.
said child,
You have
give
to give
him the
them
same
time. Yeah.
luxury. You need to give
Yeah,
him the same amount of time
yeah.
um to process, or not even the same amount of time, just give him time to process. Let him know like, hey, yeah, I'm pregnant. I want you to take time to process because I have been able to process it. And when you're ready to talk about this, I'll be ready to talk about this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, obviously, there's a little bit of a deadline because, it depends on how far along the pregnancy is.
Yeah.
But still, that's something a situational basis can get figured out on.
Right. And
So,
sometimes all you need is literally, like, a day to, like,
right. Although
let
it
it
didn't seem like he took a day because didn't they meet like once a week or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
ugh. Well,
she just
yeah,
never reached out. So, that was a little bit of a
no, I'm
But
not
did she ever really reach out to him? It
no,
was
no.
yeah.
I
no.
feel like he was the one always reaching out to her. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah, more or
and that
less.
was the other thing is like a very one way it felt like she was using him a lot.
Yes.
And she knew that.
Definitely
She did
was.
kind of
Yeah.
clarify that. Like, I mean, just at
She
the beginning when they
Well,
go okay, I guess she didn't clarify it. But when
the
they start and they go and
using
get boba,
part,
Not
not
the
like
I
union part, but like
she
from the
clarified that
get-go, she
she
was very
was
much like,
she was
I'm
still
not
still
over
in
my
love
ex.
with
I'm
yeah.
right.
still in love with him. Yeah. Like,
And that's
Exactly.
totally
And
understandable.
so she never stayed. I mean, they never like officiated things. Like
no.
we're not
No,
boyfriend
and I'm
girlfriend,
not
like
saying they had
all
to.
these sorts of things. Like we're hanging out, we're having fun. And I think
But
like and a lot of the times when she like would call him up or they go do or like they do something, he's like she's like, I just want to have fun. Like I just want to go whatever, you know?
yeah, but it was always
So
him reaching out to her. And it's like even if it was just a kind of a friendship, a friends with benefits, whatever you want to call it, you still can like let the
no,
person know that you actually
I
enjoy
agree.
hanging out with them and reach
Yes.
out to them
I
on your
agree.
own as well.
I agree.
Like,
And but okay, here's the other thing though is so while so okay, so obviously this all really stems off of like the breakup, right? When she's like, we were just having fun. It was nothing serious. Like, it's fine now. I feel like that was her half protecting herself and honestly showing more of her development into Georgia because she goes through a that's wild and then trying to process everything, sneak into her mom's house and then get an abortion and she thinks she has to do it on her own because now she doesn't know if she can trust this guy. And again, you have to remember like Georgia instilled in her in Austin that like when people leave and she literally saw it like
yeah,
she said this thing to him and he literally drove away
yeah,
without like much else of a conversation other than like that's wild. Um you know like so I guess like in her head the way she was raised it's well they leave they don't actually care and so now she has to put up this wall with him and start barricading herself in protect her feelings
mhm,
be strong like she said she would be to Georgia she's like no I'm strong like I'm strong like she says this so many times throughout the season like
yeah,
again really showing how she's like turning into a little mini Georgia because like she kind of has had to do the same things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it was because of that that she's like, I don't think I could trust you anymore. Like you
Mm-hmm.
left me in like this most vulnerable time of need.
Mm-hmm.
And based on how I was raised, that shows that you actually don't care about me.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of that, then it's like, I'm gonna build this wall, but like,
Yep.
hey, we were just casual. I do think he did bounce back very well at the end after her poetry reading
Mm-hmm.
when he comes up to her and pretty much just says like, we're gonna be friends,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Because then again, like spinning into the next season, hopefully there will be another season. I don't know if it's been confirmed or not, but like I think that could cause more drama because I think if they actually hang out, especially if Marcus has to go off to rehab, that their friendship could grow again, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, maybe
Yeah.
we'll have a love triangle.
Guys, I cannot even begin to explain how much I started hating Ginny throughout this season. Like,
Really?
genuinely started hating her with how she treated Max, for one. Oh
Okay.
my.
Yes. But honestly, you could say the whole Aang group, right? I mean, they honestly kind
Yeah.
of all ostracized her. And while I can understand some of their validities or whatever, validities on it, they should have just talked to her.
Yeah.
Correct, but they made it very clear that they don't like expressing their feelings.
Yeah.
I feel like
And
the
she,
whole
yeah,
difference between Mang and Aang is the whole feelings part.
Mm-hmm.
It's
right.
like with Aang, it was like very much just like, oh, we're here for each other and we're gonna laugh at each other's
Mm-hmm.
trauma to make ourselves
Yes.
be able to
Yes.
hide it better, rather
Yes.
than genuinely working through it, which Max
Yes.
tries to
Well,
do.
okay.
Exactly. And that's
That
what
is so
pisses
true.
me off.
I
Yeah,
Like,
agree.
when the Aang group was having their little conversation
The trauma
and
dump.
Abby like talks about like what she's actually struggling with, and they're like, hey, like, we're not gonna judge you, like, just tell us. And then she does, and then they're just like completely move on from the entire situation. I'm like,
Okay.
bro, this girl
Right.
just admitted to literally having bulimia, and
yeah.
we're gonna just skip past
And
that. We're
body
gonna
dysmorphia, like
we're
Yeah.
literally gonna
Okay.
tell
So here
the
was my take on that.
teenage
Yeah.
girls watching this show that that's okay, that's the way that it can be handled. That's mind-boggling to me, because then not once was it brought up again in the entire season after that.
But it was though. Okay, so here was my take on that. My take was the fact that like they knew she'd get defensive about it. She wouldn't want to talk about it. The whole idea was like to go into it like leading into a conversation, but then like Nora was just like, "Are you bleeding?" Like just skipping right to the point, and so that could kind of like catch her off guard, kind of deal. Anyhow, so I feel like the fact that like they acknowledged it and then like still accept her, like, okay, let's like, you know, we're in this together with all of our trauma. Unlike how was it Press was just like, that's not good, and then like walks away or whatever.
But
Um which was
but I
insane.
honestly think that is more
Better.
important, like, because think about it, they're all sitting in their trauma, they're stewing in their trauma, and none of them are telling each other like, hey, what we're doing isn't healthy, we need
yeah.
to like, even if it's going to be slow or it's going to take a really long time, like, we need to work on this. Instead, they're stewing in it, and they're like getting like more energy off of each other to continue doing exactly what they're
Well,
doing.
but here's
With
my thing though, is I didn't interpret it as getting more energy off of each other because I mean they have the whole like next scene when they're at lunch together and she takes a bite of her pizza and they're both staring at her
Yeah.
and
yeah, but
they're
here's the
like
thing is, the eating the pizza isn't her problem. It's what
Yeah,
happens
she's saying
after.
what
after it.
And they didn't do anything after that. It's like, yeah, she can sit there and eat her she could eat a whole pizza for all we care.
Yeah.
And the
Right.
next thing you know, she's in the bathroom
Right.
getting rid of it.
Yeah.
Like,
But I mean, if we're being honest, I feel like her new love interest, I don't remember her name for the Tris, something like that.
oh, that sounds right, yeah. Yeah,
I
totally.
feel like maybe she'll kind of take over that storyline.
And I sure hope so,
And
because
yeah, and
she
like
needs someone.
and if we're being completely honest though, is the friend group shouldn't have to deal with these things. Like she should be in therapy. She's
No,
two
I
therapist parents.
100%. And
Like the
that's
whole
the
like
reason
but
why she
that's the
doesn't like therapy.
problem.
right.
But that's also the problem is like Ginny is literally in therapy and she knows how much it helps her. She could be like, "Hey, I know you've maybe have a bad perception or understanding of it because of who your parents are,
Mhm.
but like the therapist I'm seeing has helped me through a lot." Like she could be there helping her, encourage her and move her towards a different path and she's literally not. Like
Yeah,
she
Yeah.
literally has the opportunity to like I'm in it and it's helping me. It could help you. Like
yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
don't know.
I agree. It was really frustrating, like watching that whole thing happen, and it's just like
It was a little
nothing.
anticlimactic, yeah.
Yeah.
And
You
then
know
it
what?
was, let's go egg hit your dad's house, and it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
What the
And then the
heck?
whole like elf get ups and I'm like,
Yeah,
God.
I don't know what that
Or
was. That
fairy
was
get
weird.
ups.
Yeah.
yeah,
You want to also know what was anticlimactic and so almost unnecessary, but in a way I can see how it was unnecessary. Like Abby with the one girl when they like kissed on the couch.
Yes.
Sam, Sam,
Yeah. And
Yes.
like they never came back to it really. And I know it was maybe like an introduction to her exploring her sexuality or whatever,
Mhm.
but it was like that scene is so odd and out of place and like okay, we're seeing what it means for Abby, but what in the world does that mean for Sam then?
Well, they totally showed it. Cause they had this scene, right, where they kissed, and they both went in totally opposite directions with it. Like they both
True.
realized their sexuality, and Abby took it in a sense to explore that, to like, okay, yeah, maybe this is like, whatever. I can like who I can like. She hasn't looked at girls. And then Sam took it in a totally opposite, like, oh my God, I can't believe I just like it was vulnerable, exposed myself like this. Let me go find a beard and start hooking up with press.
yeah,
And
Hmm.
so
Okay. I guess I
that's
didn't
how
see it
I
that
took
way.
that's yeah, so that's kind of how I took it, was like based off the situation where they both kind of had an awakening. One went with it and one went against it.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. And I mean like, and I feel like they really, okay, honestly, I feel like they really did a good job with press, because
I hate and love his character so
I know, like so much, so much. I love it
oh
when
my
Ginny punches
gosh.
him. Um,
that
but
was
like,
like,
yeah,
thank
so
you.
I feel like they do a really good job, because honestly, looking
Total
through it all,
douchebag.
yes, he's a total douchebag, but he's kind of been used as a buffer. He's kind of been used this whole time now as a beard, right? Because Abby used him,
Mhm.
just more as a warm body kind of dealio, until she figured out like, okay, actually, yeah, like I think I might be into girls. And then she was still having like this little like tug, like, should I just go back to him kind of thing, or should I stay away? And ultimately she did. She stayed away, which was really good, especially once she started liking Tris. Um, so pretty much as she moved on and progressed into finding herself, Sam took over the whole
Mhm.
Abby role as, I'm going to use you.
Yeah. I also think Press chose to switch because Abby wasn't giving him what he
He
wanted as
wanted,
well, which is also, uh good portrayal of teenage boy and I'm actually pretty proud of Abby. I know her reasons were not maybe the most appropriate because she didn't want to like have her body exposed like that because she has her body dysmorphia, but
Mhm.
she did stand up for herself and she did be like,
She did.
I don't want to go there, we're not going there, I don't care
Yeah,
what you want, kind of thing.
yeah. And I felt a little
So
backtracked
you don't
towards
think?
kind
the end.
of, because she does give in eventually
At
because he's
the
like,
end,
you're such a drag or something like that. Like,
a
if
tease.
a tease, but he said something along the lines of like, if you yada yada da, then you would do this, and then she did. Like they didn't have
Oh,
sex, but she,
No, she gave him head.
yeah,
well, yes, okay, I
but
guess
she
that,
didn't want to do any of it, and
right,
Mhm. Yeah,
true.
I
yeah,
think that was trying to play into the just because they eventually said yes doesn't mean it's consent.
yeah.
Yeah,
In my
that too.
opinion,
That too.
That's what it was giving to me, was like, sure, she agreed to it, but, like,
Yeah. Hmm.
it definitely
Yeah.
wasn't consensual still.
No.
You know, now that we're talking about all this, I'm starting to think, I feel like they try to address so many different
That's why
issues. Go
Mhm.
ahead. Yeah, no, go
No,
ahead.
yeah, that's why I have the issue with what they
Mhm.
did at the end with Max and her OCD, is
Okay.
because
Well,
it was already so
so
much
much.
in one
Mhm.
season.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like you're dealing with Marcus and his alcohol abuse mixed with
Mhm.
his depression, and
Mhm.
then you're dealing and, like, him lashing out at the world for
Yeah.
who knows what,
Yeah.
and then they also have to have the backstory of his friend dying, and it's like, where did that come from?
Right.
And then you have, like, Ginny with her anxiety and her depression and
Right.
her abortion and her mom going on trial and Austin
Yeah.
getting separated, and
Yeah.
then her dad trying to have custody over her, and it's like,
Yeah.
And
where
the
is all this coming from?
physical abuse and
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
All of it. Now, to be fair though, the whole overarching theme of every little or each character's little something they have going on is depression, is anxiety. So in a sense, they're just showing how depression and anxiety can stem off in different ways and show itself
Well, yeah, but I think
differently.
the issue is they're trying to cover so many
No, and I
different
agree. I
issues, and
agree.
it feels almost like they just brush on these topics,
Mhm.
Right,
and then
where
they
they could
don't
dive deep into
actually,
other ones.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like get to the meat of this stuff. Because like I was getting, like as Sully was saying, like so frustrated with how people were treating Max and completely ignoring her, like
Or
just because seems to be this happy go lucky, like always very preppy kind of person,
mhm,
does not mean she's struggling. And I feel
right,
like I think if I was gonna cry at any point, it was like with some of
was
the scenes
there.
with Max, because I
Yeah,
felt like there were times that she was literally crying out to people, telling them
Yep.
she was struggling
did tell.
and she
Yeah,
needed to talk to someone. And it was like, they don't want to talk. So just shove it down. And it
Yeah,
was just
it
like,
was that, and then it was her parents saying, "Can't you just be good? We already have so
yeah,
much to deal
right,
with Marcus."
yeah. And it was
And
just
it was
like,
like,
right.
are you kidding me? Dude, like
"Oh."
her mental health is struggling and nobody
Yeah.
wants to see it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to acknowledge it. Everyone's like, your life isn't as bad as mine, so
Mhm.
yours is not
Yeah.
worthy of talking about. And it's just like, if you could
Yeah.
just, I think the one scene that they do when she's like, she's texting Jenny or something, and you can, her thoughts are just racing. Like she goes from one
Yeah.
thing to this, it's just,
She
and
Mhm.
sees
you're just
Jordan
like,
take the bike and then yes, and then her mind is going a mile a minute.
yeah.
Mhm.
And it's
Yeah.
just like that, that right there, that plays almost bordering between anxiety and OCD, in my opinion. It's just like,
Yeah, and honestly ADHD because like she can't
yeah,
Yes.
stay focused on like
On one
one
thing.
thing.
right,
It's always like, well, this and then like it's
right,
very
Mhm.
chaotic.
yeah,
And I
Yeah.
was almost, I don't know, I've been kind of disappointed with, like, I'm not I don't know how to put it with, like, Marcus and, like, I think what really frustrated me with that situation was because Max was a part of it, and then as well as, like, Silver, and Silver, like, when Max went to
mm,
Silver, like, saying, "How does
mhm,
Marcus seem?" Like, "Does
Mhm.
Marcus seem okay?" And Silver being like, "I'm not comfortable talking about your brother behind his back." And it's like,
yeah. It's
Yeah.
like, are you serious? Like, does
Yeah, I didn't like Silver
no.
I didn't
first
either.
Second
season.
season her was like, "Oh, okay, this is, like,
It was
good for
cute.
Max."
Yeah.
Yeah.
3rd season her is like,
It's like,
She was
no,
like
not at
"Who do you
really
think
all.
you
different. I'm
are?"
like, ew.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
like when Max came to her and was like, "Hey, are you buying him alcohol?" And she's
Mhm.
like,
Like,
"Yeah." And
yeah.
it's like, "Well, I think he has a drinking problem, so can you not do that?"
Right.
I don't feel
It's, like,
comfortable. Like,
his choice,
Yeah,
like,
it's
it's
his
like,
choice.
I was
Like,
like, "I'm sorry. What?
what the heck?
What?"
or, like, when she told Ginny that he can't be at the party anymore, and Ginny's like, "He can do whatever he wants," or whatever. I think that really pissed me off. I was
Yeah,
like,
that I was like, "Are you guys
"This is a
like?"
person that you claim you love, and you're letting them do this to themselves? You
Right.
don't
Yeah,
love them."
Right,
no.
exactly.
And then
Yeah.
for Max to, like, get in trouble that he, like, got out or whatever, like,
I
and she's like,
know.
"I don't know what you want me to do." Or, like, the
Right.
way that Max feels like she always needs to cover for him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I was just
Yeah.
Which I mean, like, shows like the whole like sibling twin thing. Like they're there for each other, and
Mhm.
you know. But
Yeah, but
yeah,
I feel like she takes a lot on her shoulders,
definitely
and
does,
it's
and
just
nobody sees that,
yeah.
which is upsetting. Yeah.
And I feel
But okay. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I feel so bad because she genuinely cares about all these people so much,
Yeah.
yeah.
and nobody reciprocates like that level of care and love for her, and not even her parents. I feel like, and it's just like so sad to
No.
watch.
It is sad to watch, but like you also have to remember like everyone and like they point this out, like everyone deals with processes and shows things differently, right? And so
No,
like
and I know
while
that,
she's like at 100, everyone else is kind of like sitting like,
but
steady phone at 60 kind of
but
deal.
I but I think the thing is like. She literally she tells people I need to talk to someone, and
Yes.
everyone's so focused on how like what their needs are that they don't think about her needs.
No. Right.
And I think that's what's really frustrating because if you did actually love and care about someone, like as a parent, if my child came up to me, and I don't have a child, but I'm just imagining, if I had a child come up to me and was like, I really need to talk about this. Like, this is
Mhm.
bothering, this is weighing down on me.
Mhm.
Like, I need to talk about it. And if I was aware that, okay, maybe your friends don't want to talk about it, but can you have that conversation with me? Is that something that we can talk about,
Yeah.
or at least kind of like, you know, dump
Work through it,
info
yeah.
dump on me,
Yeah.
like at least express yourself. And I feel like
Mhm.
her mom didn't even do that. Like it was
Mm-mm.
just like
No.
it's
No,
like
she just kept telling her no. Although I will say the nice advice that she gave her was to meet them halfway, which I thought was good, but they didn't show it in a sense.
mm-mm,
I also think even if she tried, they really just already had the predisposition that she was going to be
mhm,
her hyper energetic self
yeah,
and
Yeah.
talky, and they
right.
didn't want that. And so
Well,
they were
and
already shut down to begin with before
yeah,
it could even start.
yeah, and well, the thing with meeting halfway is the other person also has to come
Has to,
halfway.
yes,
Yeah.
So
exactly.
if they're not going to do it, then there's no meeting halfway
Right.
at all. So
I
yeah,
mean, like, okay, again, to be fair though with them, when she brings it up right before she's about to read her poetry, it's not the time to bring it up and like
yeah.
obsess over it, which I guess is where they start going
Her
into her
timing is
obsessive
bad.
compulsions. It
Yeah.
is because like
Her
this is the one
timing is
thing she wants to talk
awful.
about, and she can't talk about anything else until it gets talked about, kind of dealio, or can't like focus on anything else. So I guess that's
Right.
kind of where that flows in.
Mhm.
But again, that could just be like her ADHD brain, like getting
Right.
hyperfixated on
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Because
Um,
there was like that time, and then also like at the party where she's trying to talk to Ginny, and Ginny's like, "Bro, so not the time. We're at a
yeah,
party. Like,
yeah,
we
like
not talk about our
we're not
feelings.
doing
Like,
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, I will say with the show, while it does feel like they're brushing on a lot of different issues, and topics that honestly just need to be generally talked about, I feel like that's also kind of life, right? Like everybody in our life is going through a different issue. And while maybe you yourself can't dive deep on stuff, you can try to see things and acknowledge things. And then I feel like at least that's what they did with this season, right? They showed you signs of all these different issues and things that people could be going through. And it was pretty much a whole season of, hey, don't hyperfixate on yourself. You need to see other people in your life. Um, which I think I appreciated. I mean, I really hope with season 4 they can like go into everything more, because I mean, again, a lot of it just was like George's trial and everything revolving around that, and all the spew that had and the repercussions that it created with everybody. So yeah.
I guess it just depends on what they're trying to do with the show. Because if they're
mhm.
trying to
Yeah.
make it like more acceptable to like bring these conversations up, okay, fine, I see that. But if they're trying to make it more accepted that like you talk about them and then you find the help you need, I don't feel like they're doing that.
Mm-mm.
If they're
No.
trying to make it like for the general masses to be more willing to have a conversation about it
Mm-hmm.
and for it to be generalized, sure, they're doing that, but I don't
Mm.
think that's what the goal should be.
Mm-mm.
Right.
'Cause
Yeah. I mean, to be fair though, like with Ginny, right? Her whole burning situation. We went a full season without any resolution on that. It even took a little bit into the second season for her to get into therapy and whatnot. And so there's always that build up to like realizing, yeah, you do need help. And the aspect of this person needs help, and then the other half of it where that person realizes they need help and professional help. It's like you can't bring a horse to water and force them to drink it kind of thing, and so I feel like they showed a lot of development with some people, like at the end when Georgia's like, I'm going into therapy and Austin's going into therapy, and they showed how much of like a family and parental decision that was, like for the child to be like, I need to go into therapy, and the parents to be like, we're here to support you. Whereas with like Max and with Marcus, I mean, both their parents are totally like, appearances matter so much. You two cannot have problems. We're going to keep this
I
indoors.
would say with Max's parents, it's most definitely the mom. The dad is
Mm-hmm.
not.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. It's more the mom being more controlling over that.
Yeah.
And I
And
would
because
say
of
it's
that
probably because their family appearance already isn't the perfect family because the dad is
is
deaf.
deaf.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yes.
It's like right off the
So,
bat, it's already something's off.
right.
And
It's
I
already
don't
kind of
think
like,
we're
yeah,
looking for resolution. I think we're just looking for progress. I feel like
yeah,
this season, so many things were touched on and they just kept coming back to the same issue, but there was no progress being made. Like with
yeah.
Abby's eating disorder, and you finally think there's going to be some progress when
And
she
nothing.
says something to Ginny and Nora, and then it
Mhm.
just like nothing. And so
Yeah.
it's just like it's a lot of just staying at the same exact place, and that's fine because I mean, I guess we know, and I hope a lot of people know that these things are take time, lots of
Mhm.
time to resolve, and if ever actually never fully resolved, to be honest. It's
Yeah,
always going to take
Well, it's
for
always going to be an issue for that
yeah.
person,
correct.
So resolution isn't the what we're looking for, but
Just
progress to
acknowledgement, right?
positive progress towards taking the right steps. And it's okay if you start taking the right steps and then you fall back. Like that's natural, that's
Mhm.
normal life. But
Right.
it's just a lot of, and I feel like the things you were mentioning, like Georgia saying, oh, me and what's his face, I can't remember,
Austin,
Austin are going to therapy, and then Marcus being driven to the um
rehab facility.
rehab facility, yeah. That all happened at the very
At
end.
the
Like,
last
it
second,
was
yeah.
literally, like, last second kinda stuff, and it was, like, so the entire season was just a lot of
I mean, it was a lot of buildup. Like they talked about Austin going to therapy, right? And then she's like, "We need to wait till after trial," which not the best moment. But
But
then like
for
she has her,
but,
reasons
I mean, for
but
the
yes,
for
no,
reason
the
it
yes,
made
valid
for the
sense.
reason,
reason it was,
yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Um, but then like for her when she goes into this huge depression during the trial, and she brings up the fact that she's like, I felt this way before, um and then she was able to recognize like the fact that Ginny got help and went to therapy and has gotten better through that these are the steps that maybe she needs to start taking, and she reaches out to Ginny's therapist, and then she's like, well, I'll help you through the situation, but like you need to find a different therapist kind of thing. And so I feel like I kind of touched on stuff, and then like that's where like that progression where like Georgia had already like determined she wanted to go to therapy, and then she was just saying it out loud to Ginny at the end of it.
No, I get that, but it's just okay. There's a lot of time that happened between that incident where she was extremely depressed and the end of the season where she finally was like, I'm going to therapy. The the therapy could have been started. It could have been.
It could have, but you have to remember she was so guarded. Like nothing in her opinion. Okay, so I feel like they did a really good job of showing her kind of awakening to her own personality through the trial when she would be at home and she'd be watching the news and that one doctor would come on.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when that doctor is like, she can be like guarded and she feels like the world is happening to her and not like whatever. And then like she'll turn the TV off, because she's like, that's a lot. Because that's touching close to home. And so it really shows the fact that like she's now becoming more self-aware to how she is
Mm-hmm.
and realizing from this doctor on TV that it does stem from PTSD from her childhood, which she
Mm-hmm.
brings up more.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like there's still with that, there's still progression into her being like, yeah, I do need professional help
Mm-hmm.
because this
No,
isn't the way to live.
and I get that. That's fine. But again, there was a lot of time from. I'm just saying, like the therapy could have done been started before
I
this
agree.
season.
But like life isn't perfect, and I feel like you can't expect the show to be perfect because I feel like they do a good job of reflecting life more in the sense that things are messy, things aren't addressed right away, things take time. And I know
Yeah,
as
but
a
as a
show, like that's not what
watcher,
right, that's not what you want. You want things to be addressed. You want these things. But you also have to admit the fact that like the problems from season 1, they were addressing these things. They addressed them throughout time. And again, it was throughout seasons and you can't always guarantee that there's going to be another season. But I feel like giving these situations time, especially all these issues they want to cover, giving them a season or two to like dive deeper into these things and like actually like explore the different paths of like getting treatment and stuff.
but that's where I struggle then is don't bring it all up at once.
I
Let's
agree.
let's
I agree.
tackle
Don't bring it up. Yes.
stuff. And I get
Small
that
bit.
that's not again, it doesn't have to reflect life perfectly because life is way too messy and too unpredictable and too scattered to be able to do that well in a show.
Yeah.
So obviously we know people can deal with these things all at the same time. That's everyone knows that.
Mm-hmm.
But to try and tackle that all in one season is a
It's
lot.
a lot.
It's a
Yeah.
lot, and I'm not saying the show didn't do a good job about bringing up the issues. They brought up a lot of great issues that need to be talked about more often.
Mm-hmm.
It's just then how do you move forward with your message about those issues? Because if you just bring them up, that's just okay. I
Yeah.
brought it up. Here it is. But what are we going to do from there? And so if you don't show how you want people to take those topics and address them in real life,
Mm-hmm.
then people aren't going to see that. And I feel like none of that wasn't fully addressed. I feel like going to therapy was brought up a lot more in this season just because Ginny's in therapy and then also with
Mm-hmm.
Georgia wanting to go to therapy and
Right.
also Austin bringing up that he wanted to go to
We want to
therapy.
go
I
therapy.
think that was one of the most mature things in the entire season ever that this what is he like 10-year-old boy
Yeah.
was self-aware enough that he felt he knew he needed to talk to someone and he knew it needed to be a therapist. Like it
Right.
had to be because he's the one who said I want to go to therapy, right?
I don't feel like
I
he
thought
was because
Ginny
what
was the one who said
Ginny's the one who told Georgia that Austin needs to go to therapy and that quite frankly she does as well.
Yeah, but at some point doesn't Austin kind of come to
I
the
didn't think so because
oh
at
I
the
didn't
end
think so.
Austin
I
was like
thought he said
locking
something to
himself
the
in his room.
yeah, I thought he said
oh
something to the extent during the season that he needed not necessarily help, but something. Like I mean, he was obviously lashing out and
yeah
which is,
as
obviously
a
understandable
10
for a
oh my
10-year-old
gosh
boy to
we haven't
do.
even gotten into this poor kid who is
I know.
has oh my
Okay,
gosh
my
can
issue
you
And
with
then
them touching on so many different topics is the fact that they fail to acknowledge that people self-mend. They don't do
yeah.
that like at all. They
Mhm.
only go to therapy to help people fix their problems. And it's like
That's true.
that's not how it works all the time. And it's like
That's true.
the only like glimpse of that you get is really with Georgia, but her
Mhm.
self-mending isn't good.
No.
It's
No.
like it's the lack of like she's not a good example of it. Whereas
I mean,
Yeah.
they
people
did
in
bring it up with
day-to-day
Zion
life,
in meditation. a
But I
little.
feel like Zion didn't have
I don't
much.
know.
No.
At least they
They
don't tell
haven't
us about
talked about it
issues
much, no.
that yeah.
Like, bro just can't
Yeah.
have a
You know, now
permanent
that I
job
think about
because of
that,
all of his issues.
you're right. Like I guess therapy isn't the answer for everything.
Mm,
Nor does it
And
have
it's
to be the
well,
first thing you go to
exactly.
either.
I think that's
So
more
it's
my point is it's like with these issues that they bring up, they don't like people generally at some point come to a conclusion that they have a problem. It
mhm,
doesn't just like for Abby, she's
mhm.
probably been duct taping her legs for
a while.
many, many, many,
Yeah.
many years.
Yeah.
To the point where she would recognize it's a problem and that she would probably either want to fix
Mhm.
or something. Like,
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
that's true. That is true. Like
and it's true.
it's like the lack of self-awareness for a lot of these
mhm,
characters. Like they're not coming to the conclusion that these behaviors are not healthy.
mhm,
Yeah. Okay, but wouldn't you agree though that with a lot of behaviors, especially when it comes to like body dysmorphia and stuff, like the awareness or the subconscious awareness that this isn't right is there, but the fact that no one else notices and no one else critiques this bad behavior kind of reinforces like, well, if no one else seems to have a problem with it, then it's clearly okay. Like what I'm doing in a sense. Again, you also have to remember they're mentally unstable.
Mm,
They're
no, I
mentally
I
know,
don't
but I feel like they do so good of a job with showing the downsides to social media, especially through the trial, like saying,
yeah,
Mhm.
"Oh, that daughter, like, totally exposed her mom," like, all over TikTok and things like that,
yeah,
and
Yeah.
it's like, they need to show the positive sides of that too, because there are influencers who purposefully target towards those who
Mhm.
have mental health issues, who have
Mhm.
body dysmorphia, who say,
Mhm.
"It is okay to be who you are."
Yeah.
yeah,
And with
So true.
those people is when the realization hits the viewer on the other side that
True.
it's like, "I
hmm
can start working on this too.
True.
I can acknowledge that
Yeah.
it's not okay."
right,
And they don't
Exactly.
do that. They
They
don't do
don't do
any of
that.
that. They don't show any of the positive sides of social media.
Mhm.
They
yeah,
only show the bad lighting to it, and it's like, yes, there is a lot of that, but you also have to recognize that people genuinely get better because of it too. People
Mhm.
follow people on YouTube, on TikTok, on
Mhm.
Instagram because that's their source of light.
Mhm.
That's their
yeah,
reason for staying alive. And
Mhm.
for them to just completely ignore that and
yeah,
just show it as only a bad thing, just like it hurts a little bit, you
Yeah.
know?
yeah, yeah. I hear
Yeah.
ya. And like, okay, I mean, I feel like we're hitting this wave where everyone's like, social media is bad and like la 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 la, la, and they're clearly trying to reciprocate that in the show, which I feel like they shouldn't have done, just like you said. But who knows? Maybe this next season they'll show something of some sort, but who knows? Um,
Well, I mean, I think they can show that it's bad, like that there's
mhm,
negative sides to it, but that there are also the positive side. There's a lot
yeah,
of people using social media to benefit others and like share messages about mental health and how mental health is important and that
mhm,
like you need to be able to take care of yourself and like hey if you're experiencing these things then you might be struggling with your like helping people
yeah,
become self-aware because
Mhm.
sometimes you're simply not self-aware until someone points it out and you watch a video and you're like yo
Oh.
right,
that sounds way too much like me
right,
uh
right. So, but like, in all honesty, again, this whole season revolved around the trial. So I feel like a lot of to the extent is
I
that
mean, the trial didn't start taking place, I feel like, until at least halfway through.
I okay, it did start taking place, but it was everything. The whole storyline in this season extended from the fact that Georgia was going to be on trial, and
so
everyone
yeah
needed to like, and so things started falling, and everyone's storyline started progressing into this disastrous whatever. So like the social media they show obviously revolves around the trial. Obviously revolves around like the negative connotations of people spreading rumors and making assumptions and conclusions and stuff like that. So like in that sense, I get the negative connotation of the show on social media, especially with people who are supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. Even though we know differently about her. But they definitely could go into the more positive aspects of it next season if they actually do touch on more of these mental health issues. Um, and again, I mean, because so much of the storyline was stemmed from the trial, stemmed from Georgia being arrested, stemmed from, Ginny trying to save her butt and Georgia trying to save her own butt, um, that they weren't able to go into a lot of these issues. Like they still had, like they can show the repercussions that all of this has caused, and then hopefully next season they can dive deeper into the repercussions and show to an extent of
But I think the trial itself directly affects Georgia, Ginny, and Austin, and then obviously her husband.
Paul. Yeah, and Paul.
but
Um,
it doesn't though.
but
It
the other characters, their mental health stories are not
Are not
related to the
related, no.
trial.
not necessarily related, but I feel like a lot of it was amplified because of it. So you have to think about the fact. So yes, so the trial directly affected, Ginny, Georgia, Austin, Paul. Paul's mayoral run and what platform, what have you. You also have the fact that it affected Ginny, and now Ginny's pulling away from people because Nora doesn't want to be near her, doesn't want to be around her. So this already splits up now a friend group that is said to always be there for each other. Now, because this friend group is split up and people aren't all talking together, now we're causing Max a whole bunch of anxiety because she wants to talk about everything. She wants everyone to talk about everything, and she wants everyone to be together. And so she calls it SOS, but like people don't want to acknowledge all that sort of stuff. And then because they're not all hanging out together, they don't all see each other as much. They don't notice things as much, and so this allows Abby to slip from just being anorexic to going into bulimia and throwing up, and that
I don't.
like I mean, I feel like a lot of it was kind of like a domino effect. Like now people weren't
But I don't think that has to do with the trial, because yes, at
No.
first Nora was like, I don't know how I feel about Ginny's mom, but I mean, they end up hanging out anyways. I think
towards the end.
their own
Oh,
mental health issues, because like Ginny's going through the trial, and Abby's going through her own eating disorder,
mhm.
figuring out her sexuality. Nora's going through like an identity crisis. I don't even know. And so they like cling to each other because of that, and the fact that they don't really like to fully talk about their feelings. They cling
Yeah.
to each other because of that.
Yeah.
I think that's what causes Max. I think that was going to happen no
No
matter
matter what.
if there was a trial or not. Um, and that's what causes Max to go into her own thing. Marcus has his own depression thing that stems off of his own
Which
issues.
I personally think also caused the whole, because you could say that Marcus having his whole depressive thing caused Max a ton of anxiety trying to cover his butt. It
Mm-hmm.
caused Ginny a ton of anxiety trying to be there for him,
Mm-hmm.
which again would have separated the group. I think there
Mm-hmm.
were so many factors,
Yeah.
you can't just
Yeah.
pinpoint it on the trial.
Trial. No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the only one you can blame their mental health on the trial is Austin. Like
Yeah.
this poor I feel so bad for
Yeah.
him. Knowing not even just knowing that his mom actually committed the murder, but having had
The
seen
blame
it.
is-
Literally having
Yeah.
had seen his mom commit murder. Like, can you even imagine
Yeah.
watching that happen,
And
knowing
then
that
having to go and
happened?
deny it right away.
Mhm.
Right. Not being able to process it, talk about it. Like, he has to remain hush hush about it.
And
On
I
top
think
of that, losing a friend.
yup, because they were just becoming friends too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Friends.
then
Yeah.
boom, that happens.
Right. And then, like, on top of that, like,
Going from
him having to
having
go
to
on the stand and blame his
well,
dad, a
well,
dad he was
before that, you have to go back to the fact that he shot his own father.
that's
Right.
true.
With a gun, with a
With a
literal
gun.
gun.
So he had to think that he hated his dad to
Right.
going to kind of liking his dad, but the
Mhm.
people around him were like, "You can't like
Not
that man.
good.
He's
Mhm.
done so
Yeah.
many things." To the point where he's embracing the fact that he likes his dad. He's like, "No, I
Mhm.
enjoy hanging out with him. He's good
Yep.
to me." To his dad then abusing Ginny,
Yep.
Ginny.
and he goes back to being like, "I can't trust that man."
Mhm. Well, and partially being manipulated by Ginny.
Yes.
Yes.
Which was a very much
That's
Georgia move, right?
yeah.
Like,
Which was a
Oh.
very big Georgia move, but you also have to admit, I mean, like, everyone's been manipulating Austin because even his dad was manipulating Austin
Yep.
the entire
Yep.
time,
yep,
Yeah,
you know?
everyone.
And
I
so
mean, because
and
he's a kid, and it's
right.
easy.
And
I
it's
mean,
exactly. And so, like,
Georgia
this
does
whole
it.
time, he's having, like, this whole identity crisis because he's like, "Ah, who do I trust?"
yeah,
You know?
Yeah.
And so Ginny pretty much gives him, like, the answer at the end. She's like,
yeah.
"Trust the person you've known the longest, who's taken care of us, or trust this man who has abused your mother and now me,
Me and
and
is threatening to take you away from
is
me.
threatening to take you away from all of us."
Mhm.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And so, like so yeah, no, that's, like that's so not fair, like, that can't be easy, like,
No.
that poor poor child.
This literally this poor kid.
I know, and, like, the only
I
one who really sees it is Zion.
mhm. Not even his dad.
I yeah, well,
Not
no.
even
His dad was too selfish for that.
No, I mean, like, Zion's not even his dad.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know.
I
I
I
mean,
I
a
genuinely
pseudo
like
father, I
Zion.
feel like, because
Yeah,
Well,
he grew
yeah.
up with
No, no,
Zion.
no,
I
I
do
know.
too. It's just like I kind of found it crazy that he didn't realize how bad Gil was as a father.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, it
see,
really showed how
that
blind he was with
Yeah,
yeah,
everything growing up, which Ginny does bring up. She
with
says that he was
literally
so
everything.
in, like, just in,
red
whatever.
glasses,
Yeah,
rose-colored
Yes,
rose-colored
glasses. Yeah,
glasses.
exactly. Yeah, like, you only had eyes for Georgia. Like,
Mhm.
everything was just
Well,
Georgia
even
lensed.
his girlfriend has to be like, "Yo,
Dude,
you
like,
might wanna open your eyes a little bit." Like, as a
yes,
lawyer, me looking at all this stuff, like,
yeah,
mm,
right.
mm.
it's not looking good. And
Yeah,
then, like, and then I think he's too easily ebbed and flowed, like, he's too much like,
yeah,
"You told me
influenced.
this, I'm believing you. You told
Yeah,
me this, I'm believing you. You told
yeah,
oh, I'm believing that." It's like, "Dude,
yeah.
you need to
Bro, he gonna get
calm down."
whiplash.
'Cause he goes from, like, blind faith in Georgia, "You
Yep.
didn't do this," to, "I'm taking the kids away, I don't trust you no more."
Right, exactly.
It's like,
Mhm.
Which
"Whoa."
I'm which I mean is fair because he has to be confronted and be like, "Yo, Georgia's not the person you think it is. I was literally shot in her kitchen. You
Mhm.
can go see it for yourself." And so I think when you
Which
see
why
the
was that not
evidence
plastered, like, night
No,
1?
literally. Just cover up with a paper
I know.
drawing,
That
and
was
I
so dumb.
but I also get pressed with Zion because it's like, "You didn't ask for the full story.
Right.
You
No.
just put
And
blind
and
faith in a man who
and
was
that's
in
the thing.
jail."
Mhm.
He's always been like that. They've always shown that. The fact that he has always like, he grew up and yes, he had a child. He cared for this child, but ultimately is like, I want to progress my career, right?
Mhm,
This is why I'm going to go overseas. This is why I'm going to go do this. Like, he showed some selfishness throughout that. And that put a lot on Georgia with being this teen, raising this child, having this guy who doesn't stick up for them, who seems to not care if they have money because now he's going to go overseas and it's not even like for a salary. Like, he's not getting paid much for it, kind of dealio. So that's not helping them. So now that puts more pressure on her to figure out and make up for where he lacks, you know? So it's almost like putting all the pressure on her to be able to take care of Ginny, to be able to provide for Ginny. And he kind of just gets to swoop in and be the fun guy,
Mhm.
and she has to go
Yeah.
in and day out and struggle,
Yeah.
and she gets a lot of the judgment from Ginny, which is totally fair. Like, Mom, why do we have to keep sleeping in the car? Mom, why is this? Mom, we never have like a nutritious meal. Like all these sorts of things, which obviously like pressures Georgia into like feeling like she's failing, and is then like it's like a rat getting stuck in a corner. It's like I have to find my way out, and so she's going to dig whatever tunnel she can. And so she's going to steal, she's going to manipulate, she's going to lie, she's going to do all these things because they show it the whole time that her
No,
one and steady moment was having Ginny. That honestly, in my opinion, part of her saving grace, part of like helping her through life was having Ginny, right? And she goes to that. She shows that she has like, it's almost kind of like a maybe not so healthy like
codependence. Oh, is not healthy at all.
Yeah, it's not healthy at all.
Especially when you're the mother and
when you're the mother, exactly.
You need to act like the mom. I think also like when she turns to stealing and she joins the gang and everything in order to support her family. Yes, I can understand because you want to do anything, but I think it still shows her personality and that's what she turned to. Whereas other people would be like, I need to get a job, I need to work and make money and do my best.
Yeah.
And I think it was also the fact that Zion's parents were so loving and supportive of both Ginny and Austin, and Georgia couldn't like suck up her own ego to let them live their best lives.
Yep.
Yes.
And it was
I
about
agree.
her.
I agree because I feel like even though they did want to adopt Ginny, even though they did want to like not even take Ginny from Georgia, but raise her as like in their house permanently, I feel like she should have kind of like bowed to that or whatever. Like, because she should have realized she's not giving Ginny the life that she needs. She's not providing in that sense. And they can. Like, now I'm not saying give them full custody. I'm saying allow her
let
to
them
raise,
support.
Right. Let them support you guys until you can get your footing.
Right.
Until you can find solid ground.
Yeah, and I think that goes again to show more about Georgia's personality. She's so selfish. I mean, when it comes to how she takes care of the kids, it's all about I want our relationship to benefit me. I mean, even when she literally murders 3 men and does not once stop and think how this can affect her kids in the future. Not once. Not like it's all about what I think is right in this moment, and I'm going to do it for me.
Yeah, I mean, but to be fair, that was her. Like, that was her whole life. It has to be about me. It's about survival mode. It's these decisions impact me.
Exactly. But
and then it wasn't until this trial that she finally did realize this impacts my children. Like this.
Yeah, and that selfishness is not conducive of being a parent. You need to be selfless.
I don't think she was ever taught how to handle things the right
No,
way.
absolutely no.
Because like when
she raised herself in
look at it, it's like her parents who raised her were not good people. She runs away from them. She ends up dating a dude who's I don't even know what was the issue with the first one? Like trying to traffic her essentially, right?
Who the
one
older
who
guy?
had, like, the underground like casino kind of thing.
I do not recall this.
I thought Zion was the first one, and then she left him.
And then she leaves like to go to Chicago or something.
Is what I'm saying.
I thought he was like abusive.
Anthony Green or something like that.
The first one she killed?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was like
I think just abusive.
Okay.
And like forced her to marry him. Didn't he have something over her?
I think it was he provided money. Okay. They had a house. They had a place to live, and it was that.
Because like that first person, I think she killed selfishly. Yes. But then you move on to the next dude, and he was getting handsy with Ginny.
Which we did not have to kill him.
No,
Exactly.
but
That's
this
the
is my
issue.
point, is she wasn't taught differently.
Right.
All she knew was if someone's doing something wrong, the
Get rid of
only way to stop it is by killing them. Because she hadn't been taught that people can help. Because
This is true. She
like
didn't have that really in her
when she
entire
went to the
life.
gang, they
Yeah.
literally were essentially the ones who provoked her to like go back and shoot her own dad
True.
that
Yeah.
raised her. They're the ones who were like
True.
eye for an eye kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And so then she's like, okay, well, then if it's okay to do that for other people, well, here's Cynthia who says, I wish he was dead.
Yeah.
And she's like,
This.
how can I help my newest friend? Well, I'll do what I've done before.
Mhm.
Kill. Yeah.
Um, it's like
Yeah.
the first one was very selfish, and the next two
Yeah.
were like she was trying to act selflessly, just
Yes.
not
On
Yes.
behalf
in the
of
way
Yeah.
others,
that
but
you
it was
should.
not the way.
None. And I do George's character is really hard to I have such a complicated feelings for her because in a way, like knowing how she grew up and that she essentially raised herself and even the people who raised her, her mom and her stepdad were literal trash people and she
Mhm.
was abused physically, sexually,
Hmm.
right? So
Molested by him. Yeah.
like I can't even imagine like the level of damage that does to your psyche and stuff.
Well, and just before all that, like knowing your own dad tried to kill you
Right, that too.
and your mom.
Yeah, like that's insane. That is absolutely insane. And then to become a teenage mother, not just of one, but of two kids,
Mhm.
and essentially be a single teenage mother of two kids at some point, and you are living out of your car. That also just, I, I, I empathize to an extent,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why it's so complicated because, like you were saying, you like some of these things she tries to do selflessly, but that's for her, it's selfless, but for other people, it's just like, "Bro, what in the
What?
world are you thinking?"
Right.
And I think, this past season, it was the first time that you really see her trying to understand herself and try to grow and be a better person. Like you can genuinely tell that's what she wants is to
Which
be
I
the
love.
best mother that she can be.
Yeah.
And I think that's what was frustrating me is because you were starting to see that with Georgia and you're like, oh, finally, we might get a more functional family. And then Ginny's all like, psych, I'm going to become Georgia now. And you're going to
Well,
have to deal
but
with the
you have
same thing
to
by me.
realize that's why it happened because Georgia starts like understanding like these things are not okay, and maybe I do deserve to be here. Maybe I do
Yeah.
deserve the retribution of my actions. And now Ginny is in a spot where she's like, I can't, like, this is not how we were raised. We were cut and run people. We were have to save our own tails kind of people. So if now my mother is giving up, someone has to be there to take that spot and to like help her through it.
But I hate that because the entire time she's been telling Georgia the way you would deal with things is not
Not
okay.
okay.
And then
Yeah.
she goes and does it herself. That's
Yeah,
what I
and
am
it's
so
like
frustrated about.
I guess it depends on how they approach this fourth season because they do
True.
leave it in a way that's like Ginny's doing it and she's gonna be done with it because she makes it very clear to her mom. She's like, this cannot happen again. Like
Yeah.
this isn't some like, oh yay, I got off, time to go kill somebody else or time to
Right.
move and go.
Right.
Ginny's like, you cannot do that.
Right.
Right. But I'm just worried because I feel like she kind of enjoyed that power play with
She did. She even
like
said that.
manipulating Austin. Yeah. And
And
like the
Yeah.
whole
Cynthia. Because she
instant
was
yep.
all like,
Yep.
I
Yep.
She
have
said
the
having
sex
that kind of
slave.
the
Yeah. Like
control
Yeah.
is like this like power that she likes. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm worried that that is actually going to propel her to keep doing similar things and that it will
Affect Marcus.
affect Marcus, it'll affect Max. It'll, like she has so many relationships that power
Abby.
play could
Yeah.
because honestly,
really
like
be detrimental.
even
Yeah.
thinking back to was it like season one when like her and like Abby and Nora go out or something like that and they go to that store and they're like, oh, just take it, like just steal.
Mm,
Yeah.
And she's all like, but that's wrong. And like
mhm,
Georgia teaches her better in that moment.
mhm.
But it's like she was still willing to do it with peer pressure. So it's kind of like,
Right.
okay, well, with what other peer pressure now, how far would you be willing to go?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, I'm so
I
I'm
know.
so worried about this next season because there's
Yeah.
just uh, I really hope they do Max justice because uh, she can be annoying sometimes, but I feel like they really just slapped her in the face like
Yeah.
1,500 times the entire season. It's just like,
Yeah.
bro,
I mean,
give
it's
this poor girl
definitely
a break.
true. But like they had to show that because that's kind of been her life. It's this lack of being seen and always seeing others
Yeah.
that doesn't get reciprocated to her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
I
mean,
mean,
talk about a villain
essentially, they
origin
didn't have
story.
to like blatantly show it like they did this season. Like you could go back and you could look. Like she cares for all these people. She's always there for
Right.
all these people.
Right.
And these people are only half there for her. It's a
Right.
lot of the people that she surrounds herself with are selfish. Like they're very much in their
Mhm.
own world. They're very much introspective and
Mhm.
not looking at other people,
Mhm.
and she's the very opposite, you know?
Right.
But I guess like you could also say that's the town, right?
Well, yeah, and then also I guess like sometimes I forget these kids are literally like what 16 or something
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah.
Ain't no way they're that old in real life. They're
No.
like
It
full
it
grown
baffles me
adults.
how short Ginny's like the person who plays Ginny actually is.
She's short, yeah.
So short, she's so tiny.
But yeah. I mean, so like if you do think about it like that, like I guess I can imagine. But yeah, even the adults do not
Mhm.
handle things well in this town. Like, what
No.
is it? Is
No,
it the small
but
town
that's the
vibe
thing,
thing or
it's a
something? Like, what
small
is this?
town, right? And
I'm
like
just
it
like,
kind of shows. Like it's a small town. They worry about appearances. And they show that, right? Like everything has to kind of like be in order. Like things have to kind of be perfect. And so it's kind of nice that things are unraveling. Like we've kind of gotten behind this facade and we're starting to really see things and things are starting to actually like start simmering, right? Things are starting to boil. So,
I was like,
so
I don't know. Things might be like pouring out the sides of the pot already. Like, yeah,
yes,
it's
we've taken the
insane.
lid off and we've allowed it to flow over.
Yeah, we need to take the pot like off the stove and calm down
That'll
again.
be the
Yeah,
next season. Let's just take the
yeah,
pot off the stove and let's let things let things
yeah,
Down.
yeah,
cool
yeah.
down. Yeah. Yeah. Or they'll amp up.
Not to drag the conversation out too long, but I think I just thought of something that really bothers me about the Austin character is that I feel like Georgia was not able to prevent herself from the trauma, right? Like it was just gonna like that was how she grew up.
Mm-hmm.
She experienced trauma. She was not able to escape it,
Mm-hmm.
and that's unfortunate for her.
Mm-hmm.
And Ginny, there was the opportunity, but unfortunately, she also didn't. And like Austin's like the one who still kind of like was protected and
Mm-hmm.
didn't have to go through that. And George is the one who put him in that position. I think that's what
Yeah,
frustrates me. Is like they had the opportunity as
but I think it's kind of like the idea of like generational trauma.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
Like
but
it's gonna perpetuate itself.
I was hoping they were gonna do like a break this generational trauma kind of thing with his
That'll be the next
character and like
generation. That'll be the next generation. I mean, but they got. I mean, like they kind of allude to it again. It's just like, the trauma bonding. I mean, that's
yeah,
pretty much what these three are. It's the trauma bonding. It's like we've gone through hell and back together. We have to stick together, which is pretty much how Ginny brings up to Austin to put his dad under the bus.
Mm-hmm.
Like you need to understand who have you gone to hell and back with? Who has been there for you?
Yeah.
Like we have to stick together. Like you don't get to cut and run. Like that's not what's
That's
happening.
not how this works. Yeah,
this
that's
poor
not it.
kid is like 10 though.
Yeah.
I know.
He
But
don't look 10,
I feel like
but
with the whole like generational trauma thing, it's like the idea of like you put like like how they do it. It's like you put a drop of like maybe like black food
Yes.
dye in a cup of water, and like
Yes, and you have to pour
you
so
pour it
much more
full.
in to get it
Yep, to
clear.
get it clear. And so it's like, yes, Georgia experienced a ton of trauma.
Mhm.
But then you look at like Ginny and Austin, and you can say that there's significantly less there.
Yes. Oh, absolutely,
So like
absolutely.
you can definitely see that it's like
It's getting better.
it's getting better, which means that they can allow for it to get better because now they have like therapy. They have the idea of I can talk about what's happening. I can talk about what's
Right.
going on.
Which you could also say, while again, not good, not condoning anything, not condoning your actions, you can say she has been trying to break this cycle of trauma and hurt and abuse, because as soon as she sees her second husband lay hands on Ginny, it's, this is not happening. You will never touch her again. You will never have the
Yeah.
opportunity to
So
touch
let
her.
me kill you.
Yes, and to a degree, though, do you not think though that okay? And again, not to drag this out too long.
And
We are
I'm
almost at
sorry,
an hour,
you've killed
but
one person. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like you killed one person. You have experience. Why? Why would your next step be to poison someone? That's too obvious. Why would you not make it look like an accident?
it was. It
She
did look like
was.
an
It was a
accident.
heart
It looked
attack
like
while he
a
was
heart attack,
driving.
Yeah,
and
but
they didn't rule it as a suspicious death.
No, they didn't.
okay, but I mean that's because they didn't even try to investigate it. But when that one person did investigate it, just even a little bit, he was like, it's a healthy man in what, his 40s or something. He's not having a heart attack. Was able to be like, this would have killed him. So it was easy to be able to find out if they wanted to, but clearly they were just like open shut case or close,
Yeah, but
whatever
she
they call it.
got rid of the evidence.
It's in his body though. If they had done an autopsy, if they'd done had testing and stuff like that, they would have known.
They probably did do an autopsy.
I'm just saying, she got lucky. She got lucky.
Yes,
Yeah.
she did. Which is why it all came
Anyhow,
crashing down.
you could also, but this is the other thing though, is you can also understand. Okay, you can't really understand it again. Not condoning anything, but it's almost like she's obviously trying to break this. Like, she does not want Ginny to get any hands laid on her, and when she sees that happen from her
That's
second husband,
understandable.
that can't happen. But she's probably putting herself in those shoes. Like, this is just like any other guy who has done this to me before, who has put hands on me before,
Yeah, no,
and
that's
what she's
understandable.
wanted to do to them.
Right.
Just like how Zion stopped her from actually killing her stepdad.
Right.
No one was there to stop her from killing this potential molester.
But
And I also feel like as a mother, I'm not, but like
yeah.
if you were to think like
Yeah.
right now, if
Yeah.
you were to think
Yeah.
Yeah.
about
No,
somebody laying hands on your child, would
Yeah.
your first thought not be I'm gonna kill you?
No.
Well, yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's just like
But am I
I
gonna
think-
actually kill you?
But that's the thing is that with
Probably
some
not.
mental health, like mental illnesses,
Yes.
you can't stop from
Can't-
changing
right.
that thought into an action.
Or
But she-
differentiate the fact that
Yeah.
it should be
Be a thought
disconnected.
and
It
not
should
Yeah.
be
your
No,
thought, but
I
not an
understand.
action.
I understand. But she also married this man. Like,
But
For money.
you
and that
should.
kind of touches on people change. People
I don't
change,
think that man
It's-
changed.
but I really doubt that while they were dating that happened.
No. I'm not saying that happened, but the character was there.
No, but I'm like, yes, I get that, but it's like you can go years dating somebody and then you marry them and they become a different person. There's so many stories of that. And it's
Yeah.
like, sure, maybe the signs weren't there right away, and maybe she did rush into it, so it was a safety net for her. And she didn't know that's what he was gonna be like. We don't really know the full story there.
True.
No, right.
But
That's true.
I can't like again, as Jasmine saying, like I can't condone her actions. I can't defend them.
No.
But you could
right.
definitely
But I
say
can
that
understand
you
them.
would think
Yeah.
in
No.
killing you. And
Yes.
so
No, absolutely. No, I don't disagree with that at all.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, it really hit me when they called her a serial killer, and I'm like, damn, she really is.
Yup.
Like, you don't realize that,
The rare female serial
the rare
killer.
female serial killer, and she is.
And then they were what were they calling her? Like a Black Widow or something like that?
Yes,
What?
yes, they're
They call
calling
her
her a
Black
Black
Widow.
Widow because yes,
That
What was
so
her
funny.
what was her name? Like her murder
the
name?
mayoress murderess.
Yeah, the mayoress murderess.
Yes,
I was
mayoress
like, oh
murderess.
no,
And
that
And
it's
then
funny
when
'cause,
she
like,
was
she's
all
like,
like, I came up with that.
yes, she's like, I came up with mayoress, and that's not even a real word.
Yep. Yeah, that's
It's not
so
even a
funny.
real term.
Oh, that killed me.
But yeah, yeah. So I mean, like, that really hit me because I'm like, oh my god, yeah, I guess she is. Like, yeah, no, these actions of hers are not justified.
Yeah.
with a
But
serial killer.
so the trial was only for the one woman's husband, right?
Mhm.
So
Yes.
theoretically she could be trialed for the other two murders.
Correct.
She could. Now, again, you have to remember though that both the cities that took on these cases, they have no body. No body, no
Yeah,
crime,
they don't.
essentially. They've already ruled a missing persons. If you don't find this missing person,
You
yeah, you
can't
can
say it's a murder
investigate it.
trial.
There's
Yeah.
only
But
one
again,
missing person.
But
there is, but the body of the second husband is
it's
gone.
gone. Yeah.
It's poof in the air with the
'Cause
fireworks.
remember when they were trying to test like the
Right,
will?
exhume the body,
She had already, gotten rid of the
dug it up.
body so that they couldn't do
She
an
had her biker
autopsy.
people dig it up
See,
and
that's
cremate it.
sussy baka though.
Okay, so it
There's
is
no way you
suspicious.
just said that, bro.
I know.
Why?
It's suspicious, but you also have to remember
But they can't do an autopsy
they
report
can't
now.
do an autopsy. They can't
They
prove
can't.
anything.
No.
You
Now
can
they
prove
can't
that there
say
is something suspicious going on, that there was, like, whatever. You can conspirize anything from that.
correct.
You don't have any proof.
Even
And
if
ultimately, in a court of law, you need that proof.
But they did an
not
autopsy, correct?
no, they didn't
No,
because
they
they didn't have
didn't.
a body.
The
They
thing is, I
couldn't do
think they did
one.
an
When
autopsy,
they
but
went to go
I
do
don't
it, the
think
body
they
was
did
not there.
toxicology because they
All
had
I'm
to do a
saying,
specific
all I'm
toxicology
saying,
for the wolf bait.
all I'm saying is, theoretically, they can try her. That's all I'm saying.
Theoretically, yes,
If
they
they
can. But
find
again, they
suspicion
have
in it,
no leg to stand on.
correct. And then there's reasonable doubt, and she cannot go to jail on if that ever happens.
On
Like,
that,
No,
right? And we
I'm,
all know
because
if they
we can
even
I,
put
only
Ginny on the
you,
stand, even though
you
Ginny
guys,
knows
it
this
is a
is true,
fictional TV show. You
yes,
never know what could
yes.
happen.
Whether or
no,
not
All
this
of a
is
sudden,
the
the body
truth of
is
the real
found.
world, who knows? But
yes,
like with this next season, you already see that they're going down the route of exploring what happened between her mom, and her stepfather
Yes.
because they show up in the town. So it's like
yeah.
you know that that's where that's going. You don't know what's gonna happen, but I don't think that they would do another trial. I just don't
No,
think they
I
would
don't. I
provide
don't.
interest
I'm
anymore.
just saying, theoretically, she could be tried for them, but I don't think they will.
Yes,
But yeah,
crazy.
yeah, I don't know.
So on that note, before we hit 120, we'll let y'all go. Have a great weekend. Go watch Ginny and Georgia if you haven't.
You're
Do some self-reflection
Real, are you okay right now?
this weekend.
take care of your
And
mental health.
take care of your mental health and notice others.
Mm-hmm.
We're not asking you to take on their burdens, but we are just asking you to notice and just be a light onto others that maybe don't have that self-reflection
Yeah.
going on at the moment.
Period.
So yeah. So stay healthy. Try and stay wise. Don't murder people. Have a great weekend. Try not to
See you
cough
next
on all
time.
the Canada smoke.
See you next week.
Thanks for surviving another episode of Chaos.
Don't forget to follow, comment, give us 5 stars, and share with your friends.
Or don't. You know us. We'll probably still be here talking anyways. Bye.
Bye.